needlesscomplexityradio@gmail.com. Say what is on your mind. Enjoy the show.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? I used to go to the Guitar Center down in Glen Burnie. Never block the road with your car in front of a federal agent. Woo! How did James Brown say it? Living in America. Jesus Christ, man. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. All right? You know why? Because I have the balls to say it. I'll say what everybody is thinking. Are the children next? Because obviously nobody is safe. Let's just get that out of the way right now. I mean, like, what do we do when the kids don't want to go to school anymore? What do we do when the little children start to rebel? What do you do when your child puts their hand inside of the cookie jar? Huh? Do you pull out your phone and you hit the 3 letters on the touch tone? You know what I'm talking about, baby. You know the 3 little letters I'm talking about. I'm not going to say that part, all right? Because we're not getting into all that. The point is, it's obviously not a race thing, so we can just like move past that. Congratulations, everybody. We beat racism. They might take your fucking kid out, but at least America is no longer a racist country. Okay, everybody. Well, welcome to the Needless Complexity Show. De facto film reviews. It is me, your host. Julian. Julian dropping in on you guys. Julian dropping in on a Friday afternoon. Fucking off from work an hour early. That's how I rebel. That's how I do it. I shave a little time off the clock here and there. Get some of my life back. But, Julian just dropping in on you guys. Had to see how everybody was doing. I'm recording this one a little bit early, so I didn't get to know how the weekend is going on. But I've got some wonderful things going on for me this weekend. All right, check this out. Mom. All right, Julian's mom. Miss Julian. Came into town. My mother, my beautiful, lovely, elegant, loving mother came into town a few days ago. And you know the first thing she did when she got here? She went to her friend's house for 2 days. I picked my mom up from the airport. I was like, hey, Mom, how was the flight? And here's one thing I love about my mom. I'll get to that. I'll get to it. I'll remember it. I'm starting to write things down, so I'll get back to the moral of what I'm trying to say. But, God, my mom is just so funny. My mom's like one of those people, and I guess kind of like me. She gets real into the details whenever she's telling a story. Right? Like, you can ask my mom a very simple question, and, you find out what she ended up having for dinner like 3 weeks ago. She's just that kind of a lady, all right? And I've come to love that about her. I'm not going to say it doesn't drive. I'm like, Mom, Can you get to the point, please? So anyway, mom flies in from Baltimore, and I pick her up from the airport. We're riding in the car going back. She's got all the things in the car. And I said, Mom, this is all I asked. And it's like customary, right? Like this is like typically what you ask people when they get off the plane and you pick them up from the airport. At some point in the commute, whether it's as soon as you pick them up at the door, maybe you're on the car and you're on your way to wherever you're going, maybe it's when you get back and you help them pick their luggage. At some point, you ask the person, you say, how was your flight? Right? Everyone asks that. Everyone asks me that. All right? It's nice, right? Like, how was your flight? Obviously it was good. They made it there safely. But it's like a thing you ask, right? It's a pleasantry. So, I'm like, hey, Mom, how was the flight? And she was like, oh, it was good. I fell asleep, for most of it. And, when my friend dropped me off and he walked me all the way to, the security gate. And then I had to tell the security people, because of, my, I don't like going through the scanner. So I had to get a pat down and I had to wait 15 minutes for the pat down. And, it's like, I can feel, it's the how was the flight part is probably not even going to get answered at this point. I'm just getting like the play-by-play of like everything that happened to her as she got up, and I'm like, Ma, would you get to the point, please? Would you get to the point? And that I would do, and I didn't forget. All right, I'm getting better at that because I know usually I'm all over the place, but my mom gets into town, right? All right, I help her bring her, 200-pound bags into the house, sets it down, and she has dinner plans already. I'm like, how is my mother, an out-of-towner, got more going on in the city that I live in than I do? So, her best friend, doesn't live too far. She's like on the other side of the bay, and they came and picked her up for dinner, and she's like, oh, we're going to anybody who's familiar with the area, and by anybody I mean no one. Why the fuck am I talking like that? All right. Anyway, her friend comes and picks her up, and her friend, she and this friend of hers, they've been friends since, I think they've been friends from like high school. I don't know if like high school or college. But my mom's friend, Gina, came and picked her up, and she came with her new fiance. On top of that, and I think that was like 2 days ago, right? That she got into town. So yeah, that would have been Wednesday. And on top of that, it was Gina's 70th birthday. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, like this lady, I mean, obviously I've known this woman my entire life because she's been friends with my mom for my entire life. And I swear this woman has looked the exact same ever since I was a child. I don't know what she's doing, but she has the vigor of a stallion, baby. Hey, I'm telling you, she could probably toss old Julian around a couple times the block, if you know what I'm saying. If you know what I'm saying, fellas. Ain't nothing wrong with going a little higher, all right? There's passion in it. I prefer a woman with... all right, never mind. The point is, my mom got into town, wheels spinning, went off with her friend. I talked to her this morning. She was like, oh yeah, we went like axe throwing in St. Pete, and we went to this restaurant and we did that and we did this. And I'm like, I don't even do these things. I don't even do these things. And they had like this big birthday celebration that I guess lasted like 2 days because they went out to dinner, then went out to breakfast, then went out to lunch the next day. And it kind of got me thinking, right? Like I was looking at her friend when she came to pick her up, and I swear this lady is in better shape than I am. And then on top of that, her Hold on a second, guys. I see a white van parking out front of old Julian's house. Gotta make sure I wasn't talking too much smack about the 3-letter touch tone people, if you know what I mean. I'm not crazy, by the way. But it got me thinking. I'm like, here is this woman in her, like, 70. Like, she hit 70. Looks like she's not a day over 40. Got a new fiance. And that whole story is like absolutely crazy, too, how that happened. So apparently, my mom's friend, Gina, meets this guy at her church. They go out for 3 months. And he asked her to marry him. And she was just like, I mean, yeah, I guess. And I'm like, is it really that easy? And the dude is handsome. He came over here too, like looking like he can bench like 260 pounds, came in, shaking my hand in my house. All right. If you come over my house, you can't look better than me. That's my new rule. If you look better than me, you can't come in. All right? I've got enough self-worth problems as it is. The point is, this is going on way too long. Gina looks great. All right? I need to get back into the gym. Fuck what I said in that last show about not doing the resolutions. All right? Go to the fucking gym. My mom's got more going on than I do in my own city. You know, Julian might be picked up from the feds on. So, my new thing is I really enjoy going back and like looking at old shit, right? Just going back and looking at things from a past time. And just to see how the consciousness, the collective consciousness amongst people, society, cultures, was art was just so different back then. And this is like one of those things that like I've always like it's like my greatest like philosophical, paradoxical like thought experiment. No, I'm not going to call it an experiment because I don't have a single scientific thought. But like I asked myself, I'm like, am I starting to just kind of get like old and grumpy about things because that's just what happens as you get older? You know, it's just like, oh, they don't do things like they used to. They don't do things like they used to. Like, am I just being like, am I just evolving into like grumpy old man as I hit my 35th year of existence, or have things just really like fallen off a cliff, like socially, artistically, mathematically, scientifically, spiritually, you know, like it feels like, and I know this is like doomer shit, like I don't like doing it, but it's the shit that I think about. So, you know, I'm going to fucking talk about it. But like, I just think about how like there's no flavor in anything anymore, or like artistic value. And I know I talked about that, you know, like regarding movies, and like that's like the biggest hill that I'll die on. Like, movies just aren't good anymore at scale. And, you know, I was like thinking about like all of those old like rom-coms that came out in like the early 2000s, you know, like Jennifer Aniston was like in all of them, or I don't know, what, not Hugh Laurie, the other is it Hugh Grant? Hugh Grant, Vince Vaughn, you know, Owen Wilson, you know, like those movies that, I mean, they were not good. All right. Like good in this. Okay. Actually, let me rephrase that. They were not good in the sense that it was like, none of these movies are like, none of these movies are like going in like the top 100 of like best movies ever made. But I feel like these movies, they captured a time. Like they so well encapsulated the time, the era, the vibe, the way of society during that time. They're like time capsules is what I'm trying to say. You know, like I was thinking about that movie, what was that one with Ben, what did I say? Vince Vaughn, Jennifer Aniston, where they broke up, like the breakup, whatever. And I mean, it was like the simplest plot of all time, but like, I think that one was filmed in Chicago, right? Because he was like the tour guide, right? I hope I'm not fucking my movies up. It wasn't in Baltimore. It was definitely Chicago. All right. But anyway, I feel like it like captured like the beauty of Chicago and like the way that their apartment was staged and the furniture and the t-shirts that he had on and Jennifer Aniston's outfits and her friends and her hairstyle and the food that they would make. And I always felt like in those kind of movies, like so many conversations were happening like around food, in the kitchen, over dinner. And the lighting, the warmth, like the warmth of the early 2000s and how there was so much color and the paintings. And I feel like it captured that time so well where I could go back and watch that movie today and feel like very nostalgic about it. And I'm like what happened? Like what happened? And I think if I were to just put a big fat sticker on it, I would probably say it's like the commercialization and maybe everything just being corporatized and everything just being looked at from a through the lens of like capital. Like sure, like I do think that capital kills, you know, creativity. I mean, there's always been, I don't know anything about the film business at all, but like, you know, the entertainment industry has always been huge. I know that there's tons of money in the entertainment industry, but you know, it just kind of seemed like once everything sort of like started to funnel into like, oh, this company's purchasing this company and this company's purchasing this company, and like two companies end up becoming one company, and then that one company gets bought by a larger company. And I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, are we that obsessed with fucking money? Like, okay, here's a thought that I just had. Like, what is the point of being rich? Like, what is the point of having a lot of money if you don't have anything of value to spend that money on? Like, how do you go to the movies if there's no good movies? How do you go to the opera if there's no good operas? How do you go to the play if there's no good plays? Right? Like how do you go on the architecture tour if every single house is just like a glass box with floor to ceiling windows and a tiny kitchen island inside of like 2,000 square feet in a loft? Like, it's like, what happened? You ever see those old, you ever see those like memes or pictures on the internet, and they'll show like the old pictures of like McDonald's or like the old pictures of Taco Bell or like the old Burger Kings, and like how fucking stylish and colorful the buildings were. And I'm like, listen, you don't have to convince us. It was just as shitty back then than it is now. Like, let us at least enjoy being in a nice atmosphere while we give ourselves diabetes. Like, can we at least have that? I mean, everything else is fucked up. But it's like, no, like, you don't even get to enjoy your diabetic food in a fun atmosphere. Like the fucking McDonald's, like they used to have like, remember they used to have the playpens and like the slides would like come out of the building and like go back into the building. Like there was so many design, like cool design choices in everything. I'm just like, what happened? And if this is where it is now, like, are we just going to be wearing like zip up suits in the next like 10 years? Like, I feel like the mall is just going to be like, it's going to be like two stores and it's like, you pick your gray suit or you pick your black suit. And it's probably going to be fucking made by Amazon. Yeah, man, I'm just like what the freaking crap happened? Or prime example, all right, I needed a good laugh. Oh, Julian needed a good laugh, because Julian, a guy like me's I gotta regulate my emotions, all right? And, sometimes I need a little bit of outside help. I'm just keeping it real. And, I love comedy. I love things that are funny. I like to laugh. I'm not good at comedy. That would never be, that is not an artistic avenue that I think that I would ever take on. But, God, I was like going back and on YouTube and like looking at like old, like stand-up routines, like fucking Bernie Mac, like the kings of comedy type stuff. And, I was never a big fan of like the other guys like Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer. Like I thought they were okay, but I think in my opinion, I think that Bernie Mac, with the exception of like maybe one or two other comedians that I know of, is probably, in my opinion, like one of the greatest comedians of all time. And like his stuff was so, like, it was the type of comedy where you couldn't, like, it would just be like punchline after punchline after punchline after punchline after punchline, to the point where it's just like he wouldn't even give you a chance to finish laughing at the joke like 3 jokes ago. Like his stuff was so funny. And to just like see him on stage in those stadiums and how like electric the atmosphere, even like the audience was different. Even people back then, I was checking out like everyone's outfits, and it's like crazy too, because like looking back on like, this was like, these were stand-up routines that were like 20-year-old stand-up routines now. And, a lot of those people that were at those shows during that time, I think like maybe back at that time, he was like in his very early 40s. So like he wasn't that much older than me. And everybody in the crowd is like around the same age as me, as that like I am now. And to just like look at the way that the audience responded and like the way that they were engaging, and like when he would say jokes, like people would be like falling out of their chairs and like standing up and like cheering and jumping. And I'm just like, you don't get that anymore. We don't get that. We don't get that kind of entertainment. And you know what else is crazy? Like people dressed up to go to these shows. Like men would be in 3-piece suits to go to a comedy show, to be in the audience, to probably never be seen other than his sweetheart that he came with. Lady's hair would be all big. especially the black lady. I'm black, by the way, okay? Especially the black ladies. Like, black ladies back then, man, it's like their hair would be like 3 feet tall and some. Have all those fucking curls. It was awesome, man. But we don't get that anymore. Like what? You go to a show in Austin and you get a guy in like an Essentials Fear of God oversized gym shirt. And some woman wearing like alu, whatever the fuck you call it. Like that's where we are now. That's our collective consciousness. Mustaches, snapbacks, oversized t-shirts, and hokas. That's the society that we live in now. So far away, doesn't anybody stay in one place anymore? No, I don't. Because I'm avoidant. What do you think you think I face my problems? That would be crazy. A man that can face his problems head on. I'm just kidding, folks. You should always face your issues and take accountability. God, this city looks beautiful at night. Every city looks beautiful at night. If you want to convince somebody to move to a fucked up town, show them the city at night. Everything looks better at night when the lights are glowing. Or maybe at sunset when you kind of got that purpley, pinkish blue haze. It's quite picturesque. You guys are getting car Julian right now because, oh God. And I picked the absolute worst road to take to get to where I need to go. Hey, Julian's gonna go pick his mom up from her vacation within a vacation. Now I'm a chauffeur. But it's all in the name of love, baby. I gotta go pick mom up from her little birthday bash. Gonna bring her back up to my side of town, and we're gonna finish out the weekend and have some wonderful mother-son time. That should be a good time. You guys are getting car Julian right now. Hopefully the audio setup is good. I think I got this new mic figured out. I think this is the first episode. This is the first Needless Complexity episode with the new mic, and also I taught my thing or two on the editing side of things. So I'm trying to mix these. I'm trying to mix these a little bit better because I think the issue that I was having was like my little like intros and interludes and like outros were recorded at like a really like I don't know, what is it, decibels, dB, I don't know. Okay, look, I'm not an audio engineer, okay? I'm just a guy. Cut me a fucking break. But the problem, it's like, relax, Julian. The problem that I was facing was the like those were recorded like at a much higher level, I guess. And because I was using that like really shitty Amazon mic, the shitty Amazon mic, that's what we're gonna call it from here on out. R.I.P. shitty Amazon mic. Oh God, I got a headache too. All right, focus, Julian. So the issue that I was having was the intros, the outros, the interludes, obviously, which I had recorded at a different time, just like on GarageBand. The audio was like so much louder than my actual voice recording. So the problem I was having was the voice recording, like it can only go so high, but if you try to like boost the audio too much, then you get, let me use the industry term, you get the clipping, all right? You get the clipping. I call it the snap, crackle, and pop. But you get the clipping and it just sounds like shit, all right? It still sounds like shit, but, you know, what are you gonna do, all right? Come on now, get off my back. But, so yeah, you know, I would be talking and I'd be like, all right, guys, talk to you later. And then it'd be like, boom, 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 boom. Like I would like listen to an episode in my car on Spotify and it'd be like blowing the fucking speakers out and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. As if I didn't need to give anyone more reason not to listen to. Why do I do that? Like I try to start calm. Like I try to have like my, I'm trying to practice my calm radio voice, baby. And then I just like go up and up and up and up. I'm not angry. I guess I'm just a very animated guy, an eccentric animated guy. But yeah, you're getting car Julian. Hopefully the audio is all right. I already said that, so move on, Julian. Oh, Julian has some great news to share with everyone. I feel like there should be like a lot more enthusiasm in my voice, but well, Julian's actually a little bit tired, man. It's been a long, hectic week. You mean to tell me, Julian, you're tired from sitting in front of your computer inside your home all day? Yeah, I'm so tired. I had to go back and forth between my office and laundry room, all right? I had to make my bed during the workday. I'm exhausted. Now, I'll tell you why I was exhausted. I was exhausted because I was in... Ooh, I almost said the name of the platform. I can't say it. I was about to dox myself. The last thing I need is anybody that I work with to find out that this little show exists. I mean, not that they would care anyway, but, I'm just like, I need my job. At least for now. I talk shit about it, but I need that money, baby. I needed the money. But Julian, this morning, Julian got all about 2 hours of sleep last night. Woke up this morning, took a shower, threw some clothes on, and went over to a test center. And you know what I did? I got my certification. That's right. Julian went, retook his test, and got that certification, baby. The test was just as hard. The only difference is I studied. And it's really funny how like hindsight is 2020 because after I finished and I'll walk you through the process. I got to over explain everything anyway. I'll walk you guys through the process and they'll give you the play-by-play of how it all went. But after I finished the exam and I was driving back home reflecting, I was like, okay, Julian, like what did you do? Like what was different about this time? I actually studied the material, which is exactly why I failed the first time. Oh, come on, my car's beeping at me. Julian's about to drive off the road. I'm so freaking excited. And that's the end of Needless Complexity. All but 5 episodes. How fucking funny and ironic would that be? But I'm just like, okay, okay, relax, Julian. What did I do differently this time than the last time? I studied. I was way more prepared. So lesson learned. There you go. There you have it. The first time I took it, like I said, I took the coursework months ago, didn't look at it again until about, these fucking people. It's like the speed limit is 50. I'm going 65. And then somebody is still up my ass. It's like people in fucking Florida, if they can't floor it to where they need to go at all times, like watch the fuck out. And then you wonder why there's a fucking accident on 275 5 times a day. God damn it. Anyway, the point is, Julian studied the material. So after I failed the exam, I had my little pity party I just like stared at the wall for 2 days. Like I was pretending I was good in the last episode. All right. Like I was putting on hey, look, I'm an entertainer, baby. All right. I was, that meme where it's like the smiling face mask, but the guy's like raging behind it. Like that was me. All right. The show had to go on. I had to put out the content. But that shit had me fucked up. I'm not gonna lie, it was a major punch to my ego. And you know, I had like all these scenarios in my head. I'm like, okay, well, you know, if I don't pass again, like that's gonna be really fucked up, because I told my coworkers that I have to retake it, which was already really embarrassing, given that like I work on this platform every day. It's crazy what the mind can do. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was looking up how to liquidate my 401k. Because I was just like, you know what? If I fail it, I'm fucking quitting this job. I'm gonna liquidate my 401k. I'm gonna take like a year off, travel, and fuck it, I'll find something later. I'm dead serious. What do they say? I'm dead ass. I'm dead serious. I was spiraling. I was fucking spiraling after that one. But I'm like, all right, like, just fucking study, Julian. Study. Go over the coursework. I bought one of those little, it's like one of those little, it's like this little, it's like website where you pay $20 and they have like all of these different practice exams that you can take for it. I got that. I was doing flashcards. Like, haven't done flashcards since like elementary school. You know, I'm just like, yeah, this is what it takes to pass an exam, because the exam is set up so that you can't pass it if you're nonchalant. So I actually studied, and yeah, so basically I think that was like a week ago that I failed it, a little over a week ago. And basically from that point, like between work, after work, before work, at night, I was studying the material. And you know what, like, it was still hard. It was still difficult. So, you know, I get up this morning, right? I gotta give you the play-by-play, all right? I gotta give you guys the playbook for the dramatic effect, all right? I'm a storyteller. I get up this morning, I'm shook. I got like 2 hours of sleep last night. I'd like wake up every 5 seconds and like, you know, oh, did I oversleep? Oh, did I oversleep? Oh, like, did I get this wrong? Oh, let me look at the module. Like, I was shook. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep all but damn but like 2 hours last night. Get up this morning and take a shower, whatever. I took it at a different test center. I actually took it at one that was a little bit closer to me. So it's only like 10 minutes away from my house. And, you know, I get up, all right, I'm not gonna lie. I drank a beer before I did it. All right? Sue me. I did it. I was nervous. I had a Modelo. First thing in the morning. Judge me. All right? Don't judge me, please. All right, so I finished my drink. Yeah, I did it. I fucking did that. I was so nervous. Jesus Christ, give me a break. So I drive out there and I'm just, it's just silent. It's just silent the whole way over there. You know when you're driving and like, you kind of disassociate and then you just kind of like pull up to where you are and you're like, oh, like, how the fuck did I get here? Like, how many red lights did I go through? Like, did I like, did someone die because of me? Yeah, it was like one of those moments. I kind of like snapped back once I got into the parking lot, and I didn't even want to give myself time to think. Like, what do they call that? Retard maxing? I didn't even want to give myself time to think about it. So as soon as I put the car in park, I got out and I walked right in that motherfucker. I get to the front desk, and this one was a little bit different because, so you have to like check in at the front desk. It's at this like adult learning center. Which that was an interesting place. So I get in, the very nice lady behind the counter, you know, she checks me in, she gives me my little, she gave me like a little, like a sticker to put on my chest with like my picture on it. She had to take a picture of me. So they take me back to the room, and, you know, I get back there and it's just all these wonderful ladies in the little staging center. They've got they're playing Teddy Pendergrass. I almost had a moment to enjoy it. I almost had a minute to enjoy Turn Off the Lights. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. So they check me in, the lady, she's like, all right, baby, all right, sweetie, you got it, honey, you got it. I told her how I failed the first time. I said, listen, honey, I'm nervous as a motherfucker. She said, baby, you be all right. I said, all right. So I go back there to the room, they more checks and balance, empty your pockets, pat down. It's a fucking TSA in there. And so, I walk into the test room. And when you like walk into a room and it's just like the air just changes, like the air got hot. I was like looking on some of the other people's computers because everybody's like taking different shit. And I swear to God, like this one guy that I walked past, he was doing something on his computer, and like all I saw was like a line graph. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, what is he testing? So the lady like checks my ID one more time, and she walks me up to the front of the little room, and she walks me over to this little cubicle, and oh, we're still going strong, baby. She walks me over to my little cubicle, and it's like in the very front of the classroom, all the way to the right, and I'm just like, oh, perfect. I've got my own little personal corner to tweak out in. So she signs in, pulls up the test, and she's like, all right, good luck. And when like I told you, the last test, I was like a little bit I was overconfident. Like I felt good going into it. This one, like I felt nothing. Like the only thing that I felt was just like anxiety. I had no inclination that it was going to go well. I had no inclination that it was going to go bad. Maybe I was just in flow. A state of anxious flow. So, they've got all these little practice questions first, that are optional. You don't have to, fill them. I'm like, let me just click through these. Like, let's just get it over with. And so, I finally get to the exam. And the first question, I'm like, I skipped it. I didn't even give myself time to think. I just skipped it. And I went to the next question. And the next question, I knew it. Like right off the bat. Then the next question, I feel like I knew that one right off the bat. Then the next question, I'm like, I don't know. Let me, okay, skip. Then the next question, I knew that off the bat. Then the next question, I skipped. And I'm all over that motherfucker. And I'm talking big now, but truthfully, like I was sweating hard. And as I'm be honest, like as I'm taking the test, I'm like, okay, I feel good about this. I feel good about this question. Okay, this makes sense. I feel very good about this question. Okay, yep, that's exactly what I went over in the practice exam. Oh, yep, that makes sense because when you do this, you do this. Yep, and this is the definition of that. Yep. And then it was just like that. It was just like that. Like I was talking myself through it, baby. I'm like, look, I was still clenched. You couldn't get a toothpick up that. You know what I'm Woo! I was still clenched up, baby. But by the time I got to like question 50, I'm like, all right, I got this in the bag. So I finished all the questions, and then there was like a bunch that I had marked for review. So I'm like, all right, let me go back to the ones that are marked for review. And it's so funny though, because like after going through the entire exam and like doing the ones that I knew, which were like probably like 90% of them, like when I went back to the other ones that I, set for review, like even those made sense going back to them. And I'm like, okay. I'm not expecting to do well, but I think I passed. And then I clicked that submit button on the exam, submit exam. That thing loaded for a second. And congratulations, Julian. Julian walking down the street with a cup of water with a D, dummy. Julian passed that exam, honey. I gotta wrap this up because, I got a couple more minutes left. I'm about to be pulling up on mom, but the when I finished the exam, you know how like it didn't feel like an achievement. Like in retrospect it does. Like now it does. And you know, it was just like I was saying in that last episode, right? Like you have to relish in the process, right? Like you have to appreciate the good and you have to appreciate the bad. And I'm going to be honest with you. It was more of a sense of relief because I'm like, okay, I'm done with this for now. It's over. Like I was in hell. Like I was in the depths of hell, like mentally after that. Going back, thinking I'm not shit, thinking I should throw in the towel. Should I empty out my 401k? Am I a fraud? Am I an imposter? Do I deserve to work? Am I shit? Am I in a lane? I don't think I'm in a lane right now. I swear I'm a good driver, but they're doing like all this fucking construction. I don't know if I'm in a lane. There's a yellow line going straight down my car, so I'm just gonna keep driving. But after passing the test, it was a sense of relief. It was like, okay, I overcame, Jesus Christ, I overcame my mind. That's how I felt like I didn't pass the test. I felt like I overcame my mind. And I'm going to be honest, like I know that it would not have hit this hard if I had passed it the first time, because I think I would have just taken that behavior with me. Or just like, oh, I can just bullshit this and get right through it and it'll be done and it'll be over. And I'm like, you know what, Julian? That's not how life works. You can't bullshit your way through everything. Some things you can. Some things you can bullshit your way through. I'm going to tell you right now. You can bullshit your way through some things. You can bullshit your way through a lot of things. But there's some things you just cannot bullshit your way through. And I look at this entire thing as a lesson learned. You know, I think it's a way for me to evaluate you know, how I approach certain things, maybe professionally, maybe, you know, personally. I don't know. It's just a fucking test at the end of the day. You know, I ask myself, I'm like, if I get another job, or maybe if I get laid off, or if something happens where I'm not working for the company that I'm working for, and like I don't have to ever work on or near this platform again, like, would it matter? Like, would it matter at all? Like, was it all for nothing? And no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't think so. I don't think so. But yeah, you know, I'm feeling good. I got my exam, you know, I got my certification. They emailed it to me. I dropped it into my certifications folder. I'm going to update my resume. Julian's feeling good, and you know what? Now I can enjoy the weekend. I can spend time with my mother and not have that hanging over my head. And I can finally, like, I feel like I can, like, refocus now on, like, my actual job. Because I honestly, I felt like I couldn't even focus on, like, my regular tasks at work. Like, the shit that, you know, I get paid to do. I was just, that shit had me down bad. It had me down bad. But yeah, guys, just wanted to share that. You know, maybe hope maybe that can be a little inspiring to somebody. I gotta tone it back. Let me just, I don't know why I started doing that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we watched an interesting one. Yeah, I think the best way I can sum it up is interesting. So we watched this movie called Else, ELSE, and it's French, so I'm pretty sure like I'm already butchering the name, but um, yeah. This was an interesting one, guys. So this one was called Else. I had to consult my Amazon curator one last time, but I don't know. My Amazon curator, the pendulum swung far with with this one. So let's go ahead and get into this one. So I'm just gonna start off and like read the synopsis, and then I'll kind of like get into some of my thoughts, some of my notes in it. Okay, so else, Else. I don't know. I feel like I'm pronouncing it the American way. I feel like it's probably like else, else, and for il. It's probably just pronounced e, given the French language. But anyway, so this was a French horror fantasy movie that came out. I don't know. Some of the things say 2024, the others say 2025, but yeah, it was a French fantasy, and as soon as I saw the opening credits on this movie and saw that it was French, I'm like, okay, what what boundary are we pushing this time? Like, are we going to see incest? Who's going to have a sexual relationship with a brick? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But you know what? I love the French though. I love French film. I love French cinema. I they do push boundaries, and I respect it a lot. They are a very liberated people, and they're just doing their thing. So I fucking love it. All right, so else let's get into this a little bit. So Onks, I think is how you pronounce the name, Anx. Onks has just met Cass when a mysterious virus breaks out. Everywhere, people's bodies are merging with objects. Stuck in their apartment, the couple must face this dreadful threat. Yeah, at a high level, that's exactly what this one is about. So let me just get a little bit before I actually get into the review. I did want to look a little bit more at some of just like the high level stuff going on here. So the director was, and I'm gonna butcher this name too, Thibault Imain, Thibault Imain, Imain, Imain. And I was looking a little bit into his previous work, and it looks like he's only done two other movies, and they're pretty far apart. So there was this one, Else, where he was the director screenwriter. Oh, so this actually might be his directorial debut. This looks like the first film that he ever directed, because the other one, which is called Le Môme, came out in 2014, and he's just listed as an actor. So I think this is like his first like writer, director, screenwriter venture, which is like pretty freaking awesome. Good for you. Yeah, the movie is very interesting. So okay, so like right off the bat, I got really excited when the movie first opened, because so like one thing I'm starting to notice that I really enjoy in film, and maybe it's because of my disdain for just like modernism and the life that is kind of being sucked out of everything, it feels, is the movie is very cool to look at from the perspective of like there's lots of colors, the audio the audio production, or however, is amazing. And I think that's like the biggest thing in the film. Like this film feels like one giant like ASMR. Lots of just very sort of bodily eating, mouthy, liquidy sounds in the film that really pull you in, that are just like really in your ear, that really just like add that extra layer of just immersion into the film. And also, with it being a French film, I feel like they are very good at just bringing a lot of focus and attention to the body, like to the human body, and portraying it in a way that is obviously very sexual, but also like just very like artistic. And the French make the body look good is what I'm trying to say, folks. All right, you have to forgive me, I'm being a little bit quiet because I'm recording this part like super early in the morning. And oh, mom is still sleeping. Oh, mom's still out here visiting Julian. But yeah, this is an interesting one. So I feel like it started off really strong, right? Like, you kind of had this Unks character who is sort of this very like type A, maybe germaphobe. I don't know, like balanced with this very sort of, you know, free spirited counterpart, romantic partner, Cass, who, when he first sort of hears of this outbreak, this sort of skin outbreak, he's freaking out, he's losing his mind. And then you have Cass, who's just like, who maybe doesn't seem like she's taking it as seriously. I think also this film is like a cultural. It's very obvious that this film is also like a cultural analysis of the pandemic. It's basically like, did you guys ever see Eddington? The that new art. I love Ari Aster, and I loved Eddington too. Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal, and just sort of how like you know looking at how everyone responded to the pandemic, and sort of these different factions that were amongst people that were a result of the virus. And how it really just sort of brought out, I think, the best and also the worst in people. I think this shines a little bit of light on that too, is sort of like the response to sort of this new this new virus that no one really understands quite fully yet. So there's sort of like that duality there, right? Like through the French eyes, and very different than very different than how it was handled in America, I guess. But yeah, okay. So I mean, the movie's like stylistically, it's really cool. It's awesome. It really pulls you in. There's like some incredible visuals. The movie is sexy. It's colorful. There's just like some really great camera work. The post production, like the editing, is really cool. It does sort of feel a little bit like a fever dream, which I think really complements the subject matter really well. But I think what I found like halfway through the movie, like once I kind of got to the halfway point, I kind of felt like the story started to get a bit muddied by just all of the I don't know, how do I say this? Like the story started off really good, and I felt very engaged and like very very interested to see how it unfolded and like how the characters sort of go through this situation. And then you know in the movie, it just seemed about like halfway through, it just became a little bit like too like esoteric. Like it just felt like it just started to feel like it became like this like visual art project, which is fine, like which is really cool. But I felt like it started to drown the story out to the point where I couldn't really tell what the story was about anymore, or like the substance. Like I felt like it got to the point where the visuals couldn't carry or like really carry the movie any much longer, where the story kind of fizzled out. I think that's exactly what I'm trying to say. It seemed like halfway through the story kind of fizzled out, and the visuals and all of the sort of like dream like fever dream like sort of like funhousey distorted scenes, it just couldn't really carry it any longer. All right, really quick, I'm just going to dive a couple. I like to go into the reviews because I think it kind of helps me to polish my thoughts and reviews of it a little bit, and maybe help me make sense of my feelings of the movie a little bit. Okay, so this is Rotten Tomatoes. Trippy, gross visuals and makeup effects do its best to carry the day, but the film just can't get the emotional grip on its central couples. And yeah, yep, that's kind of what I'm trying to say. Like, the visuals are really cool and trippy, and like the makeup effects is like it's freaking awesome. Like, shout out to whoever was in charge of the makeup effects and all of that, because I mean they just knocked it out of the park. I mean 100% original in every sense, in that regard. All right, let's see this other one. Oh, this is like linking me to like a whole article, and I don't want to do that. I think I might just read the first couple of sentences. This person enjoyed it. They said it takes us into a world that is far bigger than us and often beyond easy understanding, creating arresting visuals that implant themselves in your mind. Absolutely, the visuals are incredible. One more. Despite some interesting set pieces and special effects, Else doesn't have much to offer horror lovers. Yeah, and that's actually kind of interesting because this is a horror movie, and I have to keep reminding myself that it's a horror movie because I mean there's suspense, like there's some suspenseful parts, but I feel like if someone told me like, hey, if I was like a super horror, I mean, I like horror. I like the genre, it's fine. But like, if I went into this film as like a hardcore, like horror enthusiast thinking that I was going to see a horror film that like hit all those elements, I think I would walk away from this a little bit disappointed. Yeah. And I think that's just because I think the story just kind of fell flat, and it kind of just got to the point where you just like didn't really know what was going to happen next, and not in a good way. Kind of like in a way where it just kind of felt like the story was falling apart, a little bit. Okay, that was and that's also, there's not a lot of reviews on this movie either, and maybe it's just because it's super new, and word really just hasn't spread too much about it, but there's not a lot of reviews on this. All right, let's see, yeah, that was it. Let me actually hop over to SSRI Central, aka Letterboxd. Sorry guys, my freaking mic cut out on me again. I think uh I think they heard me talking crap about Letterboxd again. Okay, real quick. I'm just gonna read off a couple because like I went like almost 10 minutes into this and realized my mic cut out. So I'm just gonna spare myself. All right, so Letterboxd. Let's see what the people had to say. Oh, this is cute. When the movie ended, my wife asked me if I would still love her if she was a chair. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the level of like inanimate objects that people would turn into, like people were like turning into like walls and bricks and like there was a dog that turned into like some wooden planks. It was yeah, very interesting, very creative. This person gives it 1 star. They say David Cronenberg's crown is safe. Yeah, definitely seemed like there was some Cronenberg influence there. Um, Body horror for sure. Um, okay, this person's angry. They gave it 2.5 stars. They said, would respect this big swing a lot more without all the AI crap littered throughout. Um, I mean, I don't know. I didn't think it had like AI crap. Like there were some scenes in the beginning where they were like showing some images of like people's skin rashes and stuff that were like very obviously AI generated, but it almost felt intentional. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that may have I don't know. It felt a little intentional to me. Um just how like absurd freaking AI is. I would also think that the French would feel very strongly against that. So it almost seemed like it was sort of like in a mocking way. It was like overly AI generated. Uh okay, yeah. Cronenberg core, 100%. Let's see what else. Let's go. Okay. Amusing, curious, different, experimental, stylish, uneven, weird. Yeah, all of those things. Um, it's fine. It's fine. It's good. You know, if I had some friends over and we just wanted something like really quirky and weird in the background, um, where we really don't have to be invested in the story 100%. Um, yeah, and I hope that's not like a disrespectful thing to say because I know so much like hard work goes into like making a movie. I don't want to discredit them in that regard, but this does seem like one of those movies that you just kind of have on in the background, and you kind of like stop and look every few minutes, and like you see something like really kind of like weird and squishy and uncomfortable, and you just kind of marvel at it, but you don't really like pay attention much beyond that. This is like one of those films. Um, yeah. Well, I think I'm just gonna kind of leave it at that. I mean, I would if you want to see some really interesting, cool visuals, like yeah, go watch it. I mean, it's French. If you love French film, and I do kind of love the French horror. Um, you know, like almost like remember like Raw and Titan. And I know that that lady's name is skipping me now. I'd put that in that bucket. Like if you like the movie Raw, if you like the movie Titan, where the lady fell in love and had a sexual relationship with her car. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, the French are good at making like very uncomfortable movies, and someone's got to do it. So I love them for that. But it's a good movie. It's good, and I didn't love it. I don't think it's great by any means, but it is interesting, and sometimes it's just good to watch an interesting movie um, that maybe stylistically and artistically checks some different boxes, or shows you something that you haven't seen in a while. Because God knows they ain't doing it here in America, hon. Um, but yeah, else if you want to go check it out, what would I give the movie? I do my reviews out of 5. I would give it like a 2.8. I would give it like a 2.8. Um, yeah, it's decent. Go see it. Go see it. Go see it. It's just my opinion. It's one opinion, all right? It's just my opinion. Maybe you'll love it. Maybe you'll give it 5 stars. Maybe you will see something in it that I just wasn't smart enough to see. But yeah, everybody else, 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 go see it, everybody. Well, hello, everyone. I appreciate you tuning in to the show. You know what? I just wanted to clarify something. When I said D, like water with a D, it's because water is spelled with a. If you're from Baltimore, water is spelled with a D. All right, and wash is spelled with an R. So D, dummy. I didn't get a D on the exam. I got like a B. All right, just had to clarify that. I'm smart. Okay, I'm smart. All right, I have mental capacity. Water with a D, dummy, and that's a term of endearment. But yeah, appreciate you guys tuning into the show, Needless Complexity. I had to tone it down a little bit near the end because, Mom's here. I don't want her thinking I'm too crazy. All right, going to be shipping me off to Shepherd Pratt here. But really appreciate everybody tuning into the show. Thank you so much. Always go to needlesscomplexityradio@gmail.com if you have something to say. Oh, I didn't say it. I always say this. I hope you guys are doing all right. I hope you continue to do all right out there in Radio Land. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody, and I will catch you on the next one.